7:30 in the morning. There's two times to make a video. One's when I get high, and the other one's, well, maybe it's not make a video, but it's like when my thoughts are flowing. So the first one I had a few there. First off, if you're thinking I'm like unhinged or, one track mind, I don't know. Like, I don't really have the right solution for you on that one. Like, I gotta tell you, personally, I'd have more preference. My preference is to not be worried about child abduction in Canada. Like, I would prefer to not have to also deal with that, writing letters to lawyers and spending brain cells, like trying to figure out how to connect dots that don't make sense. I would prefer to teach my daughter math or English or French, or teach the dogs how to pull a sled, or like there's more practical, lovely things that I would prefer to use my life force, energy, and focus and direction and intelligence and skill towards. I'd rather build something beautiful. It's hard to do with child abduction. Now here's the thing, like if you're saying like, who is this degenerate piece of shit father? Like he's impoverished, he doesn't, like he's up, like what, I don't know what you guys are saying. Like it doesn't make sense to me that you would say these things. Like you say you have a small community that you love each other, and then like someone's talking shit, and so we just like, oh, don't support that Drew guy. I'm like, you guys need to see that this is like the tip of the iceberg. This has been 6 years of child abduction for me, and generations of child abductions in Canada. It's an industry, and they're getting good at it, at how they get away with it, and they're getting a little bit more brazen about it too. Someone was like, oh, why would you call out Pat? He's a nice guy. Well, there's a few things to say there. I don't actually talk shit about people. As a general rule, even if I don't like them or I find their personality jarring, like I don't say that to people out loud. What I am saying is that there is a child abduction industry right now that looks to be spearheaded by the BC Transition Houses Society. And as a response to my response, they called me something else, like retaliatory. They called me retaliatory. So they gave me a restraining order. They said I wasn't allowed downtown or at my daughter's school. I said, I was just sitting around. People are like, oh, Drew, it's going to get better. Don't you worry about it. Just have some patience and like things will settle and she'll see that you're not a problem. And then like, I got a letter in the mail that says you're not allowed to go to Periwinkle. What the fuck? Yeah, no, they're scared that you're going to say and do things, so they're just going to ban you from Periwinkle. And I said, oh, okay, so me biding my time and just waiting patiently for things to get better, that was bad advice. Okay. So then you want to be aggressive towards me. You want to ban me from areas. You want to withhold my daughter from me, from my daughter, from this girl. Oh, okay, so it's aggressive. All right. So then I apply back to court. I said, listen, it's been a couple of years since we've been here at court. I was trying to do it the whole, like, get along thing, but they're, like, banning me from parts of town. We're not done the conversation. So now her lawyer calls it retaliatory. It's retaliation that I brought her to court because she banned me from Periwinkle. It's like, you don't even know the fucking words you're using. What retaliatory means. Response. So, if Pat Steinman, he had to have made the decision. I didn't hear it from him. He's not he's not actually that brave to actually come up to me or send me an email. Like I don't really see him in the food hub these days. He's kind of just walks back and forth and keeps his head down. He's a bit of a weirdo. I don't think there's anything wrong with being a weirdo. I think weird's important. So I go into the food hub that I volunteer at with some regularity. I've been busy dealing with houses that keep getting towed around and trucks that keep getting impounded, and like I'm busy. Like it's not like you only have one thing going on. Yeah, I don't know. No, I'm not on Facebook. I'm not on Netflix. But the point is, if I'm calling out Pat, the executive director of the food hub, that's retaliation for him banning me. But what was his banning me from retaliation for? What did I do for him to make that decision? Like, it's my behavior, right? It's something I did. It had to have been me. The wording they used was, I pissed off the wrong people. And it's like, I don't give a fuck how pissed off you are that there's a child abduction ring. Like, you should be. You should be. Oh, it's not child abduction. We know where the kid is. We know that the kid is not with her father. That's kind of the point. That's the baseline. It's like if we went around and we scooped up all the children with like a big yellow bus and picked them all up and brought them all off somewhere, we'd be upset about that. But because we know where they've gone, it's not child abduction. I'm not sure about that. Was the picking up of the children in the giant yellow bus, was that consensual? Because that's the difference. That's the difference. If two humans lovingly consent to each other and they, meet each other's needs, I need relief from this kid and that kid needs learning, there's mutual consent, it can be loving. But when you say, I'm taking your fucking child whether you like it or not, and don't you dare talk about it on the internet or we'll ban you from town, like, what the fuck kind of civilized society do you live in? Last point. If you think I'm a degenerate that's not doing anything to contribute to society, at least I don't have my hand out, my hat out. At least I don't have I'm not panhandling every store. Go into a store in Kaslo and look on the counter. Somebody has put down a little jar. It says, I can't even afford my own house. I know that the government... CBT, Columbia Basin Trust, just gave somebody $500,000 to open an office on B Avenue. Like, you want to buy a building? Here's $500,000. $500,000, free and clear, from the Columbia Basin Trust, goes to this organization to build a building. And to purchase a building and put kids in the basement. Maybe. I don't know if they're putting kids in the basement. The child is not in my home. And that's kind of a problem. It's a big fucking problem. There's brain cells that could be used towards this or that or the other thing. But we're still talking about the child abduction because it's still real. I'm not panhandling. You say I'm impoverished. I'm the degenerate that's not contributing. I don't have a jar at the pharmacy, at the meat store, at the hardware store. There's jars all over town. Can you spare a few bucks so I can I can get a place to work? Like, what are you're embarrassing yourselves with your fucking impoverishment. Like, stop being a victim. You're saying that Listen. Good morning. I'm clearly upset because my daughter is still fucking stolen. It's absolutely a child abduction ring. You're not going to have conversations around Epstein Island. And you're not going to have conversations around missing and murdered Indigenous women. You're not going to have conversations about Every Child Matters. You're not going to have all these conversations. And then when a guy says, hey, like, yeah, I know what you're talking about. I'm experiencing it. Yeah, fuck you, Drew. You don't know what you're talking about. That's something different, and that's something different, and that's something different, and you're just being, And it's like, well, no, like, look at the wording. Like, go into the BC Transition House's website. I did this, and I sent you links. I sent you the pictures. Go to the BC Transition's website. Look at what they're doing and why they're doing it. it exonerates the woman, the female, the mother, exonerated, which means like did nothing wrong. It's like it's right, it's full on. It's like there's no way the mom did anything wrong. She has no accountability. Taking someone's accountability away from them is harm. If you're saying you can do whatever you want and it's not going to have any consequences, and everything else happens is always somebody else's fault, then that person has been robbed of their authorship. They don't get to be sovereign. They don't get to make decisions that matter. If you've stolen the ability to make decisions that matter from somebody, that's mean. That's mean. You're hurting these moms by saying that they're useless and unaccountable. Tell them how powerful their words are. Tell them how much they can accomplish and how much they can create. You got two choices. You create wonder and beauty or misery and fear. I don't know if you can do both. I don't know if you can create misery and fear and beauty and wonder. But you do have the choice. You can. You do have responsibility. Moms, you actually can make a difference. Fear, worry, doubt, opportunity, potential, love. Love, potential, opportunity, fear, worry, doubt. If you're living in fear, worry, doubt, anger, resentment, right? When you're praying for bad things to happen, we call that worry. You can't do that. Or live a life with love and potential. That's 11 minutes that you and I are both not going to get back because we watched this video. Instead of just being loving to each other. Why aren't we loving to each other? Why is there doubt? You know, oh, we got to think about, you know, maybe this is a child abduction ring. It's not like one or two, you know, Kevins and Steves going around just being sketchy. It's like a system, and it's really big, and it's, I don't know how to beat it. I don't understand it. But what we do know is we're going to start with looking at this BC transition houses, because it actually says right in there, there's a perpetrating parent. And it actually says, like, it doesn't really matter what he said or what he did. What matters is that he's the bad guy. You're throwing a whole lot of shade on this girl's father that you weren't. You weren't throwing shade at me until someone else made it profitable for them to talk shit about me. There are people going around saying, blah, 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 drew this, blah, 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 drew that. They're talking shit about me, drumming up negative vibrations about me. Now, people don't like me or trust me. What, based on, what am I doing? Other than, like, being a human being under the cloud of doubt. You've put a cloud of doubt on me. I'm just being a human. You're like, look, that guy walked weird. I knew he was a weird walker. Like, you fuck off. Like, just... You're throwing shade on a father to legitimize a child abduction. You're like, well, if the guy's a piece of shit, then they took the kid away legitimately, and I don't have to worry about whether that's a child abduction or not. I'm letting you know, I'm the father. 6 years I went in. Hey, is there a way we can talk about this? Hey, what's the deal? What are we talking about? Let's get together. Let's figure it out. No, we don't do that. No, we're not gonna, like, it's not like I never put effort into going to community services to work this out. What I'm saying is community services went out of their way to get to this child. There's programs and protocols in place to get to this child. They stole her from her crib. And as a response, I'm like, holy fuck, that was a child abduction. Like, look at the paperwork. Like, I thought maybe it was my fault. Maybe it was my behavior. Maybe it was things that I could do to improve. I tried that. And then I looked into it, and it's child abduction. It is. I can't pull that word back because it's not even strong enough for what's going on. It's a pretty fucking serious situation. So great, you got fucking child abduction. You got this dad who could be fucking building skyscrapers or fucking whatever. I could be doing something, but instead of making these stupid fucking videos about a child abduction ring. And so I'm doing that. I'm saying, hey, listen, what the fuck's going on? And so now the response is, okay, we'll just keep banning you from more places in town. Like, how the fuck does that work? You're just gonna ban this girl's father out, like, because he's fighting for her? I bought her a wool blanket last winter, 2 winters ago now. Brand new, still had stickers on it, still smelled like the store it was bought in. But it was for her to sleep in when she was here. But she's not here. So I sent the blanket back to live with Mom. And a couple months later, I see my kid again. I said, how's that blanket? Like, your dream's better or what? Oh, no, it needs to get washed. It's in the wash. It's a special, we're going to get it cleaned up and then we'll be able to use it. And a couple months later, I go, okay, well, how's that wool blanket? Well, it's summer, you don't use wool in the summer. Well, I do. I wear wool all the time. I sleep under a wool blanket all the time. No, yeah, it's summer. So now it's been at least a year, and she still hasn't using this expensive quality Canadian wool blanket. That's not keep the kid away from dad because he's unsafe or unhinged. That's erase the father from the child's life and condition her to think he's terrible. Like, it's not just child abduction, because there's this erasure. She was, everything that reminds her of me has either been taken from her or corrupted to feel bad. It's systemic. There's programs. It's run by the Public Safety Commissioner, whatever you call it, Minister of Public Safety. So if you think alcohol is good for you, it's a health product. Booze is good for you. It's definitely for safety. You take booze for safety. It's the same people. The gambling people are here for your financial well-being. They figured it out. The best way to make sure everybody gets the most amount of money is to set up a lottery system. You know who else did booze and gambling? Al Capone. John Gotti did booze and gambling. The Minister of Public Safety is the booze and gambling guy. And he also has the armed forces. There's one gang in town that's allowed to openly carry weapons. They can grab anybody they want, anytime they want. They get cheered for picking people up off the street, even if they're just asking where their daughter is. That's public safety. So it's not child abduction if it's done by the guy who's running the liquor store. That's what we're saying. If you're running the liquor store in the gambling center and you take the kid away, it's not child abduction because of qualified immunity. 18-minute video. I was supposed to be happier, but you can't ban a guy because it's not like, okay, you are buying peanuts and canned soup and salt. Like, you're buying enriched flour. I get it. You're spending money. It's not local. It's not the local money. It's coming in from Food Banks Canada. Like, there's a fund that goes to Food Banks Canada to buy stuff to pay for people. So you're like, oh, well, Drew's mooching off the system, but at least I don't have a tip jar in front of every cash register in town. That's a little bit more embarrassing. That's a little bit more embarrassing, putting a fucking tip jar in front of every fucking cash register in town. For what, a house? Oh, yeah, can I get a house? Can you guys buy me a house? It's like, build your own. Build your own. So you can get people around to fucking help build a fucking town hall. Like a proper structure that people would like to be in. You know what I mean? It's a child abduction ring. Here's the idea. If I said that the people working at the credit union... Oh, yeah, I went to the credit union, and the lady at the front desk, she took all my money. She robbed me. She robbed me of my cash. I had a house. I've been living in this house for a bunch of years, and the mortgage rates keep going up, and that lady robbed me. And that would feel unhinged, right? To blame the cashier at the at the credit union for robbing the homeowner of their hard-earned money. It's like, it's not really, she didn't do it. Like, why would I be angry at the individual behind the counter for systemic land grabs? Like, they're doing it, right? Like you'd pay your taxes or we'll take your house. Like, it's, and that's why I can't really, like, stay on the topic. Where's your daughter? Where's your daughter? Because I'd like to just say, where's my daughter? Where's my daughter? Until that works. I think we're talking about a bigger thing. Like, we can't really conceptualize it, you know? That's why there's more than one religion in the world, because you speak English and you speak this way, you speak French, you speak this way, you speak Korean, you speak this way, and it changes the way that you can view things, right? So if I'm mad at the credit union for my mortgage situation, and I name the individual who got me into the bad deal, it's not like, that's the harm. That's the most harm I'm going to do. Like, I'm not a harmful person. I'm just naming names. Here's how it lays out. I'm saying facts. Hey, this person used a fact that had my name in it. Therefore, I'm scared. And it's like, if you can't hear your own name in public without that inspiring fear, then you are not the right kind of people to be raising kids. You don't get additional houses to put additional people's kids in the basements of. You can't live in fear and be a decent human. I can't figure that out. Can you be in fear and be a decent human? That's your question. Can you be a decent human and live in fear? And if you don't live in fear, come up and visit me in Besbin, BC, out by the aerodrome, where we're doing cool shit. Bring your kids. Bring my kid. Let's hang out. Let's have a good time. Stop living in fear. Stop harming people to get what you want. That's fucked up. If I harmed Pat by calling him out for banning me from the food hub, I don't think so. I think that's like natural consequences of situations, you know? 20 minutes. I just trying to make water. Fuck. It's not the taxation. It's not the taxation of stuff. It's not. It's that there's a genocide. If you think Israel is a good place, you're like, oh man, those Israelis are doing. They didn't really know what's going on. They really know how to make a fucking Holy Land feel holy. If you think that they're doing a great job over in Israel, then this video is not for you. There's no way that that's going to work. But if you're like, that's kind of, I don't know what's going on. That's kind of fucked. I'm letting you know there's a bigger conversation. Like, how did Israel happen? How does that happen? Well, there's the Balfour Accord, right? It's English. It's colonialism. You know any other English colonies? Like this piece of shit fucking country here, Canada? Like, you think maybe they've been abducting children for a generation or a century? Again, it's not, oh, Drew's kid's missing. It's Canada is in the child abduction business. They've been doing it. If you're like, oh, I love Canada, what you're actually saying is, oh, I love child abduction. They've generally kept it very quiet. And they're trying to ban me from the internet. They're trying to they've moved my house to a place where there's no internet. I have to go to put this on. And so it makes it more steps. It's more things I have to manage. Oh, how come he hasn't managed it all? Because I'm fucking paying for internet, but I gotta go to the internet. I gotta get gas for the... Fuck. Good morning. Yeah, I'm overwhelmed. What am I supposed to be? Okay with it? Should I just sit here and fucking play video games and they just waste my life? No, I gotta do something. So anyway, stop blaming victims, right? I'm not saying I'm a victim. I'm saying if community services is ran by victims who are going out of their way to harm people, then maybe we gotta fucking have a conversation. Like, you go to your way to harm people, then say you don't have any accountability. No, I took the kid away because of your behavior. It's like, you didn't see my behavior. You heard someone's version of my behavior, but that's not exactly how habeas corpus works, right? You can't, like, take an allegation and call that a fact and then take dire consequences like stealing a child and collaborating that away. Did you read the paperwork where the judge says you can't take the kid away, and then they fucking did it anyway, and the judge was like, well, I guess that's just how it's going to go then. It's like, it's collaborative, like it's a junket. It's a pedophile ring, dude. Like, there are people getting paid to harm these kids. No one's coming out of those community services. There's community services in every Canadian town, right? It's a franchise. It's like a Subway subs. It's like Subway. There's one in every town. It's not like, oh, that Subway gave me botulism. It's like, Subway's gross. Why are we allowed, like, if towns are banning McDonald's from their house, from their town lines, limits, then how come we have a community services? Like, it's not a service to the community. They make a ton of money. $3 million they made this year. How far does $3 million get you in a small town like Caslow? Am I going to get a breach for that? Am I now a criminal for asking the question of where's our money going? You have to not like me in order to be okay with the fact that my child was taken. But now that's two problems. We got a child who doesn't know her father's love. It's being brought up by people who have no interest in her well-being. They have interest in their own well-being. They're getting paid money, lots of it, to take these kids away and create battles between mums and dads. Mums think dad's the problem. Dads think mom's the problem. They're doing it on purpose. They're putting these parents against each other for their own profit. Harming these kids. I'm saying something about it. And because I'm responding to the child abduction that happened half a decade ago, you are now being conditioned to think that I'm a bad person. You didn't think that before. You liked me. People talk shit about me in order to legitimize their crimes against humanity. And that's why I named names. Because it's not about the franchise. Yeah, the franchise is absolutely selling poison. But you were the sandwich artist in my case. I'm just going to mention that. That's all it is. Start being more artistic about how you... Or autistic. I don't give a fuck what you do. Just get the kid back.